Welcome to day 4 of your Yoga Fit Challenge. We have a 20-minute class today. Grab your mat, kick off your shoes, and let's get started. Go ahead and come to stand at the top of your mat, mountain pose. Bring your feet close, knees soft, roll your tailbone under, circle your shoulders a couple times, and let those palms open to the front. Close up the ribs and close down the eyes. Take a moment here with your eyes closed to find your breath. I want you to start to feel grounded through both feet and notice the gentle sway that your body makes from side to side as you try to find your center. And then I'll have you blink your eyes open. Try to stay connected with that center of gravity as we start to move. Reach both arms up. Inhale. On your exhale, fold. Slide down your legs. Soften your knees. Take a half lift on the in-breath. Exhale to release. I'm not going to be mirroring you today, so bend your knees and stretch your right leg back. Melt your right knee down. Low lunge. Lift up your heart. Start to ground through your legs and reach the arms to the sky. Crescent moon lunge. If it feels available to interlace your first 3 fingers and come into Shiva Mudra, go ahead and do so. Index and thumb are extended, biceps close to your ears. Lower the hands on your exhale breath. Match one on the inside, one on the outside of that front foot. Tuck your back toe, pick up your back knee, step back to plank pose. Pause for a breath. You can always lower your knees if you'd like. We'll shift forward of the wrists and either from your knees or your toes, bend your elbows like a tricep push-up. Come to the floor. Melt the tailbone, untuck the toes, melt the thighs down, slide your hands back. Let's peel up baby cobra. And then exhale, back down. One more cobra, maybe a little higher this time if it's okay in your spine. Keep space between your ears and shoulders. Lower yourself, and we'll push through both hands to come into child's pose. Ground through those hands, reach your hips back, and roll your forehead to the floor. Stretch the low back here for a moment. Feel free to visit child's pose as often as you need today in our class, and to also stay here as long as you'd like. If you're ready to move on, come into tabletop with me. We'll plant the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Round your back, chin to chest, look for your belly button. And then arch your back, lift up, chest up, look up. One more here. Round cat and arch cow tilt. Curl your toes under here and push weight into your legs. Knees come up, downward facing dog. As you reach your head underneath your arms, look at your shins, your heels are heavy. And then here's an opportunity to pedal if you'd like. One knee bends as the opposite heel gets heavy. Switch it out, other heel, other knee. Excellent. And then we'll take the left leg up to the sky. And I remember I'm not mirroring you, so it's my real left. Bring your left foot all the way to the front of the mat. Lower that right knee back down, right back where we started, that crescent moon lunge. Uncurl your right toes, drive down through the left leg, and reach your arms up. Maybe Shiva Mudra here at the top. Big breath in. And then on the exhale, release. Hands on either side of your front foot. Tuck your back toe, pick up your back knee. Exhale, gaze at that front edge of your mat and step your feet together. Forward fold, half lift, inhale. Exhale, release. And then let's roll up like a rag doll. So bend your knees and roll up nice and slow, pushing through all 4 corners of both feet. Take your time, no hurry. We're going to do that same flow on the other side. Take a big breath in when you get to the top. On the exhale, fold like a swan dive. Bow. Half lift on your in-breath. Exhale, release, bending your knees. We're going to stretch the left leg back, so it's the other side now. Melt the left knee down, uncurl the left toes. Start to get light on your fingers. Engage your legs. See if you can rise up to the sky with those fingertips. Option to interlace your first 3 fingers, Shiva Mudra, like someone's pulling your fingertips up to the sky, a little taller, longer through the arms. Energy. Lower the fingers, one on the inside, one on the outside. Tuck your back toe, engage your back leg, lift up the knee, plank pose. Remember, you can take this from your knees or your toes. Tailbone under, core engaged. Shift forward of your wrists, and you can either put the knees down or stay up. Take a chaturanga, any amount of cobra. Baby cobra, mid cobra, full cobra. Exhale, release. We'll do one more cobra. Use energy in your arms and your back to lift up, keeping the shoulders down out of your ears. Roll to the floor. Take it back, child's pose. Deep breath in, hips to heels, and then see if you can close down the lips and breathe through your nose. Make an HA sound in the back of your throat, like you're trying to fog up a glass. Come all the way forward into tabletop, hands under your shoulders. Let's do some cat-cow. Round your back, tuck your chin, so we're getting blood flowing, and then melt your belly down, lift up your chest. One more. So just practicing some spinal flexion and extension. Tuck the toes, put weight in your legs, downward facing dog. Sit bones up, up, up as you dive down between your arms. Heels are heavy. You can hold still. If it feels good to pedal, here's your opportunity. You can march a little bit here at the back of your mat as you stretch the opposite heel down. And we're going to go right leg to the front. So reach your right leg up to the sky first, three-legged dog, and then right foot steps as high up the mat as you can. Aim by your right thumb, melt the back knee, uncurl the back toes. Engage your legs. See if you can start to rise up. Same lunge we did before we went to all that chaturanga, right? Reach the arms to the sky, maybe interlace for Shiva. On your exhale breath, release the hands. Frame out your front foot with those hands. Tuck your back toe, engage your back leg. Look at the front edge of your mat and exhale. Feet together, top of the mat. Half lift. Release. And let's root and swan dive to the top this time. So push through your legs, really strong legs, reach up. Hands to heart center. And see if you can find your heart beating for a moment. So thumbs on your sternum. See if you can just sort of find that wonderful heart beating in your chest right now. Okay, so we're going to move on to a little more of a traditional sun salutation here to keep bringing heat to the practice. Soften up the knees with your next in-breath. Reach up, inhale, exhale, and bow. Surya Namaskar, a half lift on the in-breath. Bend your knees, plant your hands. You can hop or you can step back to plank. Your choice, knees or toes. Shift forward of your wrists for chaturanga. The elbows scrape the ribs, any amount of back bend. Some of you may enjoy up dog, which is tops of the feet, only thighs lifted. And let's see if we can flip the toes and lift the hips. If that doesn't feel right in your practice, roll back down and go back into child's pose like we did in the earlier transitions. Put a little bend in both knees, rise up to your tippy toes, and you're going to spring load your legs, look forward, hop or step to the top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, strong legs, root down as you rise up. Big breath in, hands to heart at the center. Exhale it, namaste, hands. One more, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive. So we're bringing heat, halfway lift. This will elevate your heart rate. Bend your knees, find the mat with your hands. You can hop or you can step back, land in your top of the push-up plank pose. Now feel free to skip your chaturanga if it doesn't work for you today, but if you're able to, go ahead and chaturanga into some version of back bend. Baby cobra all the way into the option for upward dog. If you'd like, lower back down, take child's pose, or flip your toes and pike your hips up with me, downward facing dog. Stretching the backs of the legs. Really firm the arms. Calf raise here, so rise the heels up and bend your knees. Look forward. Step or hop, top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale. Root to rise, really strong legs. Reach those arms overhead, match your hands, heart center. Find your breath. Find your heartbeat. Standing tall, like there's a puppet string pulling the crown of your head a little higher off the shoulders. We're going to Surya Namaskar. Be here. Keep building that heat. Reach both arms up. Come into a number 11 with your arms, and we'll sink down into chair. So sit your hips back like there's an imaginary chair behind you, but reach your arms up. Thumbs are working up and back. Feel some heat building in those shoulders. Reach the fingers down to the floor, and as you do, lift the hips, drop the head. You can shake your head no, or nod Nod your head yes. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, release. You can hop or step back to plank. Remember the option to skip your chaturanga. So if it doesn't work for you, just go to a child's pose. If you'd like, you'll shift forward of your wrists any amount of back bend. Doesn't have to be up dog. Feel free to flip your toes and come into down dog, or you can transition back in a more gentle way. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Heels are heavy. We're upside down, arms engaged. Bring those big toes close. Stretch your right leg for the sky. And let's open that right hip. Bend your right knee. Let your right foot fall back. Kick the right foot to the sky. Square the hips. Draw your right knee to your nose and step to the top of your mat. Spin that left heel down for warrior one. Line it up with your front heel if you can, and then engage your legs. Fingers come up to the sky. Virabhadrasana 1. And if you'd like to join me in a mudra, hook your thumbs, spread your fingers, palms face forward, and then imagine you're playing a game of tug of war. So you're trying to pull your hands apart and engage your lats here. Good. On your exhale, you're going to fold one hand on the inside, one hand on the outside. Pick up your back heel, and we'll step ourselves back to plank. Feel free to skip your chaturanga if it doesn't work for you today. If you'd like, go ahead, chaturanga into a back bend, and then we'll meet in down dog. So whether you lower down and press back or you roll through your feet is up to you. Big toes close, left leg to the sky. Inhale, open that left knee, bend your knee, let your left foot fall back. So we're in that little splits position here. Kick the left leg to the sky, square the hips, draw your left knee forward. Step as high up the mat as you can. And start to set your right heel down, line it up for warrior one. Engage your legs, reach to rise, arms overhead. Front knee pretty bent, and feel free to keep your hands separated or join me in the mudra. Let's go opposite thumb on top. So palms forward, engage your lats, like you're gently trying to tug your thumbs apart, create a little tension there. Release hands on either side of your front foot. Pick up your back heel and step back. You can skip this vinyasa if you'd like, or join me in the vinyasa. You can roll through the feet, piking your hips up and back, or I'm kind of varying which one I'm doing. So I'm going between the gentle transition and the more challenging transition. We'll meet in down dog. Back of the hips are reaching up to the back of the mat. Heels are heavy. Face relaxed. Rise to your tippy toes, bend your knees, look between your hands. You can hop, step, float, walk, top of the mat. Half lift on your in-breath. Exhale, release. Let's bend those knees deeply. Chair pose, reach your arms up overhead. Draw your belly off your thighs. Push through your legs to rise. Inhale, maybe a back bend if it feels good. And then exhale, hands back to your heart center. Take this moment and see if you can find your heart beating again. Deep breath in the lungs. Relax the neck, relax the face. We're going to try a balance asana next since we're already up. So on your next breath, go ahead and steady yourself. Find yourself in your best posture. We're going to peel the right heel up. And if it's possible, pick the right foot up and start to float the right knee towards hip height. You can keep your hands at your heart. You can keep your hands at your hips. Or you could do an airplane here to help you with that balance. Some of you might enjoy trying standing staff, so arms all the way to the sky and kicking that right leg towards straight. Doesn't have to be though. You decide where you want to go with this. Building some strength in the top of that leg. Whether you chose to kick it or not, we're all going to bend the knee and start to send it back. You can start with hands at your hips, send your right leg back, and shift your heart forward. Feel free to go hands to heart or hands to the sides. Warrior 3. Gaze down at the floor and square up the back hip. Maybe even reach those arms overhead for the full pose. Lengthen and strengthen the back muscles. Bring your hands back to your heart center and slowly step your right foot to meet the left. Take a little walk. Ooh, nice job, yogis. Realign. Standing tall, find your posture. Mountain pose. On your next breath, start to lift the left heel. Just go 1 pound at a time. When you're ready, if you're ready today, Pick up that left foot, working the knee towards hip height. It's okay if it's not there today. Pick a drishti that helps you. You could also pick a hand position that works best for you. The option to go for standing staff, arms overhead, and if you'd like, kicking that leg towards straight, working the top of the thigh, toes up to the sky here, building some heat. And then one more breath and we'll transition to warrior 3. Start to lower the knee, and if you can, see if you can send your leg back without touching down. So the really smooth transition. Pick a spot to stare at. I brought my hands to my heart, but you could have your hands on your hips or arms to the side. Or if you'd like to try a full warrior 3, reach your arms overhead. Feel some heat building, that same muscle tension that you were working in chair pose. Lift those thumbs up. We'll slowly, with control, see if you can bring hands back to prayer and lower the left foot to meet the right, like you meant to, and do a little walk. Great job, yogis. We are going to head to the floor. We're going to do it in a challenging way. So we're going into a ball squat first. So big breath in. On your exhale, fold. Half lift, lengthen your spine forward. And then on your next exhale, let's start to bend the knees and tuck into the tiniest ball that you can become, lowering your hips down towards your heels. If your knees are a little bit grumpy, just go as low as you can, working into that tight ball here. Now for balance, you could try bringing hands to heart center. Some of you may let those heels peel up, I'm trying to work on keeping my heels down, stretching into my Achilles. Use your hands for this transition here. So core control, reaching your fingers to the floor on either side of your hips. See if you can lower your hips without a plop. So you're gonna just gently place the hips to the floor and then lighten on your toes. Lift up your heart, fingers behind you for support. Let's head straight into boat. Chin up off your chest, shins parallel to the floor. Maybe you'll catch your thighs. If it's available, maybe let go of your thighs, palms up. Make sure there's room behind you. We're going to go into half boat. We're going to lower your lower waist down to the floor. Shoot your legs out 45 degrees. Exhale, pull it back up into boat. 2 more. Lower, shoot the legs out. Use that exhale. Pull it back up into boat. Last one. We're holding here, half boat. Lift and hover, chin up off your chest. And then draw your knees to your chest. Let your head roll back. And rock it side to side. Whew, great practice, yogis. Let's take a little bit of a stretch here on the floor. Bring your arms out into a T. Hike up your hips and just kind of scoot them to the left, and we'll drop both knees over to the right, nice and slow. Slow, slow, slow. Melt those knees down. Reach your left arm out in opposition and feel a gentle twist in your back. Coming back to your breath. Be proud of yourself for the consistency that you've shown, showing up here today and hopefully the previous 3 days before this, if you're following the program with me. On your exhale, let's slowly tone up the belly muscles, pick those knees up, and then when you get through the center, I'm gonna have you rock the hips a couple times, bring them to the right, and lower both knees to the left, slowly. So they're not just flopping down. Melt into that stretch, reach your right arm out. Feel a twist in your back. Breathe here and smile. Be proud of this body that you are taking care of by showing up on the mat today. Use the exhale to bring the knees back up to the center. Squeeze the core here. We'll rock the hips back through the middle. Take the hands on the hamstrings, and then we'll just kick the legs towards straight and bend the knees like you have a monofin on here. Kick and release. Extend and bend. Good. On this last one, we'll hold and then point and flex your feet. Beautiful. And then let's stay flexed. Reach your fingertips over your shoulders. Curl your head and shoulders up. Come into a crunch like you're really trying to bring your fingers to your toes, firming up your core muscles here. Really tough, tough, tough. You should start to shake just a little bit. Lower your head, lower your shoulders. Bring your knees into your chest. One hand per knee. And let's circle the knees out away from each other and back in. And then reverse that circle the other way. Excellent. We'll take a few moments here for stillness. Go ahead and stretch your legs out long on your mat. Shake out all your wiggles. Point your toes open to the sides, arms long by your sides, palms up. You are always welcome to take a different shavasana or a different relaxation position. You could lie on your side. You could bend your knees. You could find a seat. Close down the eyes here for a moment and feel that heat circulating your body right now. Feel how that movement was good for the body. And the stillness is good for the soul. It's good for the mind. You're welcome to pause the video here and spend a few more moments in this stillness. If you would like to come out of your relaxation, put a wiggle in your toes and fingers with me, and we'll bend the knees, drop them to the front, and push with your hands to come back up to a seat position any way you wish with your legs, just sitting tall through your spine. Deep breath in here, reach both arms overhead, connect your hands, bring the thumbs to the heart center. The light in me respects and salutes the light in all of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I will see you in the next one. Namaste.